of experience with dogs. And I'm going to erase them, but not forget. And what the W learning curve is this. Okay, so we have the dog, and he's got a problem. He's not bringing the right arm. Okay, he's going downhill in his behavior. Okay, and then we make a change in our training, like we did in this case. We eliminated the verbal negative. We put in the pointed hand, and he starts to improve. And this could also be for the golden, that was learning to do a sit-stay instead of a recall. It doesn't matter what the exercise is, it's any exercise. And then you start to see progress, and you guys get all excited, especially this part of the group. You get all excited.
Yes.
Then what happens? It starts to go downhill again. And you start to question, gee, am I doing the right thing? It's getting worse now. It's getting worse. Remember I said, there was somebody up on the floor and I said, it looks like it's getting worse, and that's a good thing? Because it always gets worse before it gets better. Okay, so when I see improvement, and then I see deterioration, I keep going. And this is where most people stop and change their minds and do something else. Because I know the method is sound, and I know that it's normal for dogs to get worse right before they figure it out. They make more mistakes, they make it faster, whatever it is. And remember the golden? She was not staying, then she started to stay a little bit. And then we put one recall in, and she crashed. And she wouldn't stay, and she wouldn't stay, and she wouldn't stay. And then she calmed down and figured out what we wanted. And almost everything you teach them has a W learning curve. I don't know why. But where you get into trouble is right here. Because you start to see deterioration. You go, I don't know if this is working. And you either stop or you switch gears. Where all you need to do is stick to your guns and say, this makes sense. You should be able to figure it out. I have trust in you. You will figure it out. And you come out the other side. Now, whether this happens in one session of training or two, I don't know. It depends on the dog, the temperature, the age, how tired we are, where we have to go. But often it happens in one training session. So, just be aware of that. The other concept that I want you to know about if you have, most of you now have a book or one of the books. But I talked about the 5th week plateau. The 5th week plateau. And that is very, very real. The 5th week plateau explains that a dog learns something and takes 35 days from the time the dog learns it for the information to go from temporary memory into long-term memory. Now, those 35 days translates to about 5 weeks. And we used to prove this theory every time we started a session of classes, because the first thing we taught the first night was, of beginners, was a sit-stay. And the dogs got better and better and better at sit-stay. And the 5th week of class, nobody could do a sit-stay. And the reason nobody could do a sit-stay was because they were in the 5th week plateau. So everything they had learned 5 weeks ago or 35 days ago was in transit in their heads. And they were unable to recall the information. Now, everything you ever teach a dog, or I should say everything a dog ever learns, goes through a plateau. Whether you notice it or not depends on whether you're choosing to do that exercise at that point in time. Some of my students, I suggest keep a log, like the day you start teaching weave pulses, the day you start teaching signals, or whatever it is, put it on the calendar and mark 35 days so you know about when to look for it to fall apart. So when it falls apart, you don't say, oh my God, what's happening? Because it will. Now, what you do, when it falls apart, what you do depends on you. You can either ignore it, just say, oh, we're in a 5th week plateau, we're going to put that back in the closet and pull it out in another week and it'll be back, which is usually what I do. because I'm lazy. Or you can say, you're in a 5th-week plateau, let me go back to the beginning and rebuild the foundation and show you that this is what we had learned. Which makes you feel better, helps the dog out, but it really doesn't improve anything. You're just as well off to just leave alone. It'll come back. Every step of every exercise the dog learns. Not just every exercise, we're talking about every step of every exercise. So, the day the dog picks the dumbbell up off the floor, 5 weeks later, you can't do it in that location. Now, 5 weeks is an average. Some dogs go through a plateau in a little longer, some dogs go through a plateau in a little less, but they're consistent. If you have a dog that plateaus at 4 weeks, they always plateau at 4 weeks. If you have a dog that plateaus at 6 weeks, they always plateau at 6 weeks. And you can literally put it on the calendar. Now, how do you recognize a plateau? Well, if you've done it enough, it's pretty obvious. Because what happens is the dog has a look on its face like, I have never heard that word before in my life. What are you doing? I mean, it's like they never, ever learned it. It's so blank. That's when you say, wait a minute, when did I first start teaching you this? And I tell you this, I mean, this is just how they learn. We can't change it. But the big thing is don't get upset about it. And don't be one of these handlers like, you know how to do this. You've been doing this for 5 weeks. What do you mean you can't do a sit-stay? You've got to understand how their brain works. And that's just the way it is. The same as the W learning curve. I don't know why, but after doing this for 45 years with all different dogs, 7 days a week, I can tell you this is what happens. And it's proven over and over and over again. So, always ask yourself, are you in a plateau before you get too worried about what the dog can and can't do. Now, if you're in a different location, we know that's a whole other ballgame. But if you're in the same location, the same place you taught this 5 weeks ago, and the dog is acting like I've never heard of it, that's why. Okay. Cat has a, which